Right, welcome back, everybody. Another quick analysis video. It's your boy Sully. Wow, that really sounded like a YouTube intro. But I'm going to be talking about the first international move in Valorant history. Exo Clan signing with Sonics, the Oceanic team, moving now to North America to compete in this region. So a little bit backstory on this team is that they've been looking the core five of Dizzy Life, Ian, I think that's how you pronounce it, Crunchy, Plix, and the last guy's actually I can't even think of it. I can't remember off the top of my head. Bob. Of course, the most simple name is the one that I forget. The core five have been exploring options with. I think there was a tweet made by, I can't exactly remember who, but there was a tweet made by one of the players, kind of talking about how they're now exploring options to head forward into 2021. They want to look to relocate to North America. So the first Oceanic team, the first 5-man roster to move regions in Valorant has just happened. So this is really, really exciting stuff. Obviously, I mentioned all 5 players. I think individually, all 5 are astounding. They all have very good mechanical skill. Now, I will say that when it comes to competition in Oceania, they are no slouches. They've won 4 major events, 4 titles, and they've played across 6. And in the 2 that they didn't win, they got second place by a very, very narrow margin. So that kind of puts into perspective just how damn good this team is. Of the maps they've played, 42 won, right? And get this, only 11 loss with, I think, only like 3 best of 3 losses. So yeah, again, it's pretty astounding how good they are in Oceania, and the move to North America is definitely a reasonable one. The competition in Oceania is nowhere near the level of other regions like Korea, like EU, like North America, or even Brazil. So, very smart move from Exo Clan. They definitely want to compete at an international level. This is a team that has the capability, I'd say, to be a decent contender when it comes to international lands. Now, how do I feel about them possibly in North America? Now, that's an entirely different story. So, I'd say this team has, again, very individual players. Dizzy Life and Plix being 2 very standout guys. Dizzy Life being the jet operator, he's super solid. Plix being kind of the Swiss Army knife. I guess you could say the sick of this team. He plays Sova, Sage, Reyna, Raze. I mean, he plays it all essentially. So, I mean, those 2 are out of this world. And then for the other guys, Crunchy on Omen, Bob playing Breach, Sova mix, and then Ian playing Cypher. I will say that Bob is a very sufficient breach. I wouldn't put him up with, again, the likes of Korea or even Sunny as of recent. So, but Bob, he's definitely a very solid breach. There's nothing really crazy that Exo does, or Exo Clan, I guess I can call them Sonics now, that they do in terms of tacticality, right? There's no meta changing. They aren't reinventing the wheel, breach flashing from spawn into T-spawn. Nothing crazy. But they're a team that's definitely very capable. There's no doubt about that. They have, I'd say, the capability to be at least a top tier 2 contender, possibly at least give competitive games to the tier 1 teams in North America. This move is obviously going to expand their competitive range. They can dominate the bad teams. They can compete against the good teams is what I'm trying to get at. So, I mean, it's a big move, right? So it's going to be a big hit no matter what happens. Exo Clan obviously shifting regions, and the 2 styles that I think are going to clash, North America and Oceania, and Exo Clan or Sonics are going to have a difficult time in competing. So I don't think that this is a tier 1 team in North America. I think at most it's going to be a top tier 2 team, possibly bottom of the barrel tier 1 team. Now, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I genuinely don't see this team competing against the likes of TSM, the likes of 100 Thieves, the like of Sentinels. So, but I am, again, very excited. This move is hopefully going to put them at least in contention to battle on the world stage. Now, in terms of how they play, I mean, this team is obviously very individually skilled. I'd say Dizzy Life and Plix are the 2 best fraggers on this team. Whenever I see either of them alive in a clutch situation or in like a 2vx, 3vx, I get scared for the other team, because Dizzy Life, I feel like this guy just doesn't miss with the operator. I said in a very bold statement that this guy is the Wardell or the Shazam of Exo Clan, and could honestly compete at that level. I definitely put him at the level of maybe someone not as good as Wardell and Shazam, someone like maybe Dicey or even Skadoodle at certain points in time. But I mean, there is so much raw skill on this roster. I think all it's going to take is maybe a little bit more tactical coordination. I will say that this team in mid rounds is a little bit uncoordinated. While they are a very smart team, they definitely aren't at the level, the team play level of maybe a team like Sentinels or maybe a team like 100 Thieves or even at the tier of Envy and TSM. So this team has definitely got a long way to go once they make that move to North America, but they can definitely compete. There's no question about that. They're a very coordinated team on retakes, and their retakes. Okay, don't even get me started on their retakes. I could spend hours dissecting every single retake, and I would still find something incredible. I mean, they have some of the best retakes I've seen, and when it comes down to it, they've probably have some better. They probably have better retakes than teams in North America. Like it's actually crazy how good this team's retakes is. I'll throw some clips up in post production so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But like the coordination on their retakes is unmatched. It's just like it's like clockwork for them. Obviously, it's because they're playing against lesser competition, but like I think their retakes would confuse the shit and like be really difficult to counter for a team in North America or even Europe. Like any team internationally is going to struggle against Exo Clan's retakes, or apologies, Sonic's retakes. So that's one really shining moment. A lot of pivoting around someone like Dizzy Life and Plix in the mid rounds. They pivot around those two players a lot. They really bank on the fact that Dizzy Life is going to pop off for the operator. So yeah, I mean, Exo Clan, or I keep calling them Exo Clan, Sonics has definitely got a lot on their plate when it comes to making this move to North America. But I think overall, it's a super talented team. They have the chance to be a top contender in international lands, or whenever that happens. But they don't have I'd say the skill level right now to be a contender. They definitely need a lot more time to develop. I could see them maybe in 2022 being at the top of the world, or not the top of the world, but like at least in the top 10 world rankings. So I'm super pumped to see what they can do. Of course, guys, this is just a very quick analysis. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. This is the first international Valorant move in history of Valorant, and that's not saying much because the game's only been out for about a year, so, or less than a year actually at this point. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. You can tweet me at Twitter, you can call me a moron in the comments, Twitter, my DMs, whatever you want to do. But of course, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. It's SullyCast on Twitter and twitch.tv/SullyCast on Twitch. I'll be doing a lot of VOD reviews. I'd love to know if you guys would maybe want to see me break down some of their retakes. I'd love to make an individual video. But in terms of the Cloud9 video that was supposed to come out today, I got a lot of feedback from you guys. I want to take a lot more time to perfect this video in particular. Make sure you guys get all the information you need to make it a lot more digestible for you guys. So that'll be coming out tomorrow. But in terms of this video, we're done here. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Again, follow me on Twitter at SullyCast and on Twitch, twitch.tv/SullyCast. I'll see you guys soon for the next video. Stay safe, stay indoors, and wear your masks.